bit more about this as John Sandweg joins us now. John, the former acting director at ICE in the Obama years. So we're going to talk about that Louisiana story because that's your prediction basically coming true. But to follow up on what Allie's talking about of this so-called spring surge, I'll put up some of the numbers on what we've dealt with at the border from Customs and Border Protection in terms of the deaths along the border. 171, this is fiscal year 22, 52 in custody, 68 not in custody, 51 not reportable, as you see there, the incident types, whether it's distress or drowning and the like. What would you say about this time of year and what it leads to in that part of the country?
You know, Connell, look, historically, this is the surge season, right? The spring is when the numbers really pick up, stay elevated until the summer, start to dissipate a bit. Obviously, what we've seen the last really 5-6 years is blowing all historic norms out of the water. I mean, we're seeing a massive number of individuals coming across 12 months of the year. But again, the scary thing here is that if these historical patterns hold true and we have that spring surge this year, I don't understand how the department's going to handle the surge of, individuals coming across when they already have their hands full. And sadly, those numbers, I think, kind of reflect the real tragic, byproduct of the situation at the border.
Yeah, tragic byproduct indeed. Now, in the Louisiana story that we referenced a few minutes ago, I mean, you said it. If this SB4 local law in Texas goes forward, you're going to see copycats. We don't even know what's going to happen, really, with SB4 yet. But to put the headline from Louisiana, they're proposing this bill very similar to the migrant arrest law in Texas, where the local authorities would come in. Your thoughts on, maybe we're going to see a number of states go in this direction?
Yeah, Connell, look, I think this was entirely predictable. This is a big political issue. I think governors want to be seen as doing something, getting in on the act. And when the Supreme Court, at least temporarily allowed the law to go into effect, I think that was a, green light to a lot of states and typically, more conservative governors and legislatures who thought this was an opportunity for them to be seen as doing something about it. Look, the sad truth about this is, and I don't want to turn this political, but is that these laws are going to do nothing to affect the crisis at the border. We've talked about it a million times. This is a crisis that's primarily driven by a lack of immigration judges to process asylum claims, and you either need to surge immigration judges or change the laws. Congress rejected the potential legal change. We don't have a surge of judges, but empowering states to arrest undocumented, in addition to all the other concerns that raises, really does nothing to make our border more secure. And
it might be a moot point, right? I mean, if SB4 doesn't survive, then these laws won't either.
Yeah, look, again, what the Supreme Court does is a little bit unusual, obviously, and we'll see what the Fifth Circuit does here. But the bottom line is, if you look at historical precedent of what Arizona tried to do in 2012, the law is not, SB4 is not going to remain in effect. And I think as the oral argument revealed, there's certainly elements of it that clearly contradict with federal law. But of course, the case is almost certainly headed to the Supreme Court. It is a new court today, and we'll see what they do.
Well, you said it would happen. I didn't know Louisiana, by the way, would be the first one. I think we thought maybe Arizona or something,
I'm not surprised it's Louisiana, but I don't think this is the end of it. I think there's more to come, right? There's going to be more states that do the same thing.
All right, John, always good to talk to you. John Sandweg there on the immigration story. Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.